Liam, have you ever felt like your mouth wants to speak English, but your brain is still thinking in your native language?
Oh, yes, Emily. It's like your mind needs to translate every sentence before you speak.
Exactly. And that's what slows us down. Imagine if you could just think in English automatically, like a native speaker.
That would be life-changing. No more translating in your head, just smooth, clear thoughts in English.
Friends, today we'll show you exactly how to make your brain think in English step by step.
Whether you're a beginner or intermediate learner, these methods will rewire your thinking for fluency.
So grab your headphones, sit back, and let's dive into the secret of English brain training.
Emily, why is thinking in English such a big deal for language learners?
Great question, Liam. When your brain starts thinking in English, speaking becomes faster, smoother, and more natural. You stop wasting time translating every word in your head.
Exactly. And that's what most learners struggle with. They know the words, but they freeze when it's time to speak.
Yes, it's like your brain is stuck in two languages. You're trying to switch between your native tongue and English. That causes confusion and delays.
But when you train your brain to think in English, that pressure disappears. You can speak more fluently, understand faster, and even write more clearly.
And here's the best part, it's a skill anyone can learn. You don't need to be perfect. You just need the right methods and a little daily practice.
This episode is perfect for anyone who wants to stop overthinking and start living in English inside your mind.
So, if you've ever thought, I understand English, but I can't speak fast, this episode is for you.
Let's begin this journey together. You'll be amazed by how much progress you can make if you train your brain the smart way.
Liam, have you ever met someone who understands English well, but still struggles to speak?
Oh, yes, Emily. So many learners say, I know the words, but I just can't say them fast enough.
Exactly. It's not about intelligence. It's about what's happening inside the brain. Your brain is used to your native language, so every time you want to speak English, it has to translate first.
And that delay creates stress. You feel nervous, you start doubting yourself, and then you stop speaking altogether.
Yes, and that's where confidence drops. People feel embarrassed when they pause too much or make grammar mistakes, even though it's normal.
I've seen learners who were very smart but stayed silent because they didn't trust their English thoughts.
And over time, they start saying things like, I'll never be fluent, or English is not for me. But the real issue isn't English. It's that they've never trained their thinking to be in English.
Exactly. If your brain still thinks in your first language, English will always feel like a second choice, like an outsider.
But once you start thinking in English, something magical happens. You stop translating and start expressing.
And that's the freedom we want all our listeners to feel. Emily, we talked about the struggle, but what's really causing this problem? Why do so many learners still think in their native language?
Great question, Liam. Let's start with emotion. Most learners grow up using their native language for every emotion, every habit, every thought. So English feels foreign, unfamiliar.
Right, our brains are emotional. They love comfort. So even if you learn English, your brain wants to stay in its comfort zone, your first language.
And then there's fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding weird, fear of being judged. So your brain avoids thinking in English because it feels unsafe.
Yes, and here's the logical side. Most learners only use English during lessons. They study grammar, memorize vocabulary, and maybe read something, but they don't live in English outside the classroom.
Exactly. If your brain only hears and uses English for 30 minutes a day, how can it switch its thinking pattern?
Another cause? Translation habit. From the first day, we're taught to connect English to our native language. For example, apple means save. So your brain always runs that translation loop.
Yes, and over time, that loop becomes automatic. But the good news, habits can be changed. With the right practice, you can train your brain to skip the translation and think directly in English.
So it's not your fault, it's just old wiring. And today we'll help you rewire it.
Stay with us. We're going to show you real strategies that work, ones you can start using today. All right, Liam, let's jump into our first solution. It's simple but powerful. Start naming everything around you in English.
Oh, yes, this tip really works. Wherever you are, your room, your kitchen, outside, try to think in English words.
Exactly. Don't just say, this is a chair during class. Say it in your mind while sitting at home. Chair, table, window, fan. Do this every day.
You're literally training your brain like a child learning their first language. And it works because you're connecting English to real things, not to translations.
Yes. For example, you wake up and think, this is my pillow. I'm going to brush my teeth. The water is cold.
That's everyday thinking in English. No pressure to speak perfectly. You're just teaching your brain a new way of noticing the world.
And don't worry if you forget a word. That's normal. Just describe it simply. I'm putting this white powder in the water. Salt.
Exactly. You don't stop thinking, you adapt. And that builds real fluency over time.
So today, start this habit. Look around you and say the names in English, silently or out loud.
This small action rewires your thinking step by step. And soon you won't need to translate. You'll just understand. Emily, now that we're naming things in English, what's the next step?
The next step is powerful. Talk to yourself in English. Yes, I mean it. Have small conversations with yourself throughout the day.
That sounds a little funny at first, but it works like magic. You're not just thinking words now, you're forming sentences, thoughts, and responses.
Exactly. You don't need a partner to speak English. Just say your thoughts out loud or in your head, like, I'm hungry. Should I eat something? Maybe I'll cook eggs.
And if you're walking alone, you can describe what you're doing. I'm walking to the store. The weather is nice. I see a red car. I feel relaxed.
It's like making your own English podcast in your brain. You're giving your mind the practice it needs without needing anyone else.
And when you make this a daily habit, maybe just 10, 15 minutes a day, you'll notice big changes.
Yes, you'll start feeling more comfortable forming sentences, thinking faster, and even correcting yourself naturally.
It's private, safe, and totally under your control. And guess what? No one can interrupt or correct you, so there's zero pressure.
Friends, if you want your brain to start working in English, then make English part of your inner voice.
Start today. Just one self-conversation a day, and your fluency will grow from the inside out.
Liam, here's a cool trick for our listeners. Use visual imagination when thinking in English.
Visual imagination? Can you explain that?
Sure, instead of just repeating words, try to see a picture in your mind and describe it in English.
Like picturing a beach and saying, the sun is shining, the waves are blue, people are swimming?
Exactly. When you imagine a scene, describe everything in English. This connects your English thinking to your senses, making it real and easy to remember.
So, if I think about my morning coffee, I'd imagine the cup, the steam, the smell, and say, I hold the warm cup. The coffee smells strong and fresh.
Perfect. This helps you practice adjectives, verbs, and nouns naturally. You're training your brain to form full sentences connected to feelings and images.
I like this because it's creative and fun. It's not just boring words, it's a story inside your head.
Yes, and you can do this anytime, in bed, walking, or waiting in line. Just close your eyes, imagine a place or event, and describe it in English. This builds your vocabulary and fluency while making thinking in English enjoyable.
So, friends, start imagining your daily life scenes and narrate them in English. This simple habit makes your brain love English.
Liam, the final and biggest step is to immerse yourself in English every day.
What does immersion mean here, Emily?
It means surrounding yourself with English as much as possible, like watching shows, listening to music, reading, and speaking in English.
So, it's like living inside an English-speaking bubble?
Yes, the more you expose your brain to English in different ways, the faster it will start thinking in English naturally.
How can beginners start immersion without feeling overwhelmed?
Start small. Listen to simple English songs or podcasts like ours. Watch easy English videos with subtitles. Read short stories or articles. Speak to yourself or friends in English.
Little by little, English becomes part of your life, not just something you study.
Exactly. When your brain feels English all around, it's forced to switch to English thinking automatically.
That sounds powerful, but also fun.
It is. Immersion makes learning natural and enjoyable. You stop translating and start living English.
So, friends, make your daily life a mini English world. Your brain will thank you.
Liam, many learners struggle with doubts when trying to think in English. They worry, what if I make mistakes? Or what if I can't keep up?
Yeah, Emily, I've felt that too. It's scary to try thinking in a new language.
Totally normal. The first step is to accept that mistakes are part of learning. Don't fear them. They are proof you're trying and growing.
But what if I feel stuck? Like my brain keeps switching back to my native language?
That happens to everyone. Your brain is trained to your native language. It's comfortable. Switching takes time and practice.
So, patience is key?
Yes, and consistency too. Even 5 minutes daily practicing thinking in English helps your brain rewire gradually.
What about feeling embarrassed speaking English alone? Some might feel lonely or silly.
Great question. Try to see it as a private, safe practice space. Speak or think in English like you're chatting with a supportive friend.
That makes sense. It's okay to be imperfect in private before being confident in public.
Exactly. Overcome fear by reminding yourself every expert was once a beginner.
So, friends, if you face doubts or fear, remember it's normal and keep practicing gently.
Yes, don't give up. Your brain is learning and growing every day. Liam, let's do a quick role play to practice thinking and speaking in English. Imagine we meet for coffee and talk about our day.
Great, I'll start. Hi, Emily. How was your day today?
Hi, Liam. My day was good. I practiced English thinking for 10 minutes. It felt challenging but fun.
That's awesome. What did you do exactly?
I spoke to myself in English, describing my morning routine. For example, I woke up early, had breakfast, and read a book.
Wow, that's a great habit. I tried thinking in English while walking. I said, the weather is nice today. I feel energetic.
See, you're already training your brain to think in English naturally.
It feels a little strange, but I'm getting used to it. Practice makes perfect.
Exactly. And remember, don't worry about mistakes. The more you try, the easier it becomes.
Thanks, Emily. I'm motivated to keep practicing every day.
You're doing great, Liam. And to all our listeners, start small, keep practicing, and soon your brain will think in English easily. Liam, let's learn some important words and phrases from today's episode that will help our listeners think and speak English better.
Great idea, Emily. What's first?
First word, rewire. It means to change how your brain works by forming new habits. Example, I'm trying to rewire my brain to think in English every day.
Second word, consistency. Doing something regularly without missing it. Example, consistency is key to improving English skills.
Third phrase, make mistakes. To do something wrong, but it's normal and part of learning. Example, don't be afraid to make mistakes when you speak English.
Fourth phrase, practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the better you get. Example, I say practice makes perfect to remind myself to keep trying.
Fifth word, challenge. Something difficult that helps you grow. Example, thinking in English is a challenge at first, but it gets easier.
Sixth phrase, speak to yourself. Talking out loud to yourself to practice speaking. Example, I speak to myself in English to improve my fluency.
Seventh word, motivated. Feeling excited and ready to work hard. Example, I feel motivated to practice English every day.
These words and phrases will help you on your journey to think and speak English more naturally.
Try using them in sentences and practice often. Your English will improve step by step. Liam, we've covered so much today about rewiring our brains to think in English.
Yes, Emily. Remember, it starts with small, daily habits like speaking to yourself and practicing consistency.
Don't worry if it feels hard or strange at first. Every step you take brings you closer to natural English thinking and speaking.
Mistakes are part of the journey. Embrace them as lessons and keep going.
To all our listeners, you have the power to change how your brain works. Start today, even for just 5 minutes, and keep practicing.
Your English confidence will grow, your fluency will improve, and soon you'll think in English like a native speaker.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to Speak English with Mishu, share it with friends who want to improve their English, and comment below to tell us your favorite tip.
Thanks for listening. Keep practicing and never stop believing in yourself.
See you next time on Speak English with Mishu. Keep shining and speaking English confidently.